Welcome to episode 8. We're going to be talking about how we were deprived during pregnancy or what we felt deprived of during pregnancy. Lindsay, did you ever feel deprived during pregnancy?
I feel like when I bitch, it's going to not sound nearly as much as you have to complain about because your pregnancy, I feel like you've had the one where they're like, no, no, no. Do you want to start us off? I feel like you should start us off.
Well, I don't feel like I was deprived of that many things. I feel like it's probably the normal stuff that I feel mostly deprived of. Let's just start with like food.
That's easy. We both like food.
Okay, I really love sushi. I eat it all the time, like so much sushi. And I could not have sushi, and it's the only thing I've been thinking about through my whole pregnancy. Someone even told Isaac the other day, they're like, you better have sushi at the hospital waiting for her when she's done giving birth.
Yeah, and preferably not hospital sushi.
No, I do not want hospital sushi. Thanks. I can wait. I can wait like
yeah, you can
4 days, okay, if I have to. And then also randomly, I've been craving red wine since I've been pregnant. And Isaac and I aren't big drinkers, but for some reason, red wine and a Mexican martini have sounded so good since I've been pregnant.
Oh, with salt?
Yeah, with salt and olives. Sounds so good.
That does. For not being a drinker, I can get behind something with, like, on a hot day, something salty.
They say you can't have deli meat, and it's like, what? First of all, I don't eat deli meat normally, but because I couldn't have it, I was like, I really want Italian.
All you want is a sandwich now.
No, I really wanted, I love like meats and cheeses and stuff like that, but I really wanted Italian meat, like just fresh Italian sliced meat. And I ended up throwing that to the wind like the second trimester. And I said, screw it. I'm going to eat my meat and cheese whenever I want to eat it.
You have a charcuterie problem. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say charcuterie, and Isaac always says it's wrong. So it's charcuterie, I think. I don't know.
That is the most difficult word in my vocabulary, I think.
Other than that, like, I'm not a big meat eater, and I didn't want meat through the whole beginning of my pregnancy. But towards the end, I felt like, because I also got diagnosed with anemia, so I'm like low iron. And so I wanted like a steak, like a filet mignon, but you can't eat that overcooked, and you can't have rare meat or like medium rare. Anyways, that's my 2 cents about food and alcohol and whatever. Is there anything along those kind of lines that you felt like you couldn't have, or like caffeine or whatever?
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot I couldn't have caffeine. Oh my God. Okay. Yes. Now I can think of some things that I was deprived of. So I am addicted to coffee. I have a problem. And I was drinking probably like 6 shots of espresso. I know I sound like I'm full of shit, but I was actually drinking like 6 shots of espresso a day. All of a sudden, I couldn't have it, which was one of my food aversions when I was pregnant. So it sounded disgusting. So I got really lucky because for the first 2 trimesters, I couldn't even smell coffee. I couldn't be in the same room with it. It made me want to gag. So I didn't feel deprived until my 3rd trimester when I started getting tired again. And I thought, you know what, screw it. Like, I've got to have it. Decaf's not doing anything. So I kind of just was like, I'm going to have that. Meat. I eat meat all the time. Love it. And Jacob's dad would have to burn things for me. So he'd cook everybody a steak, and he would have to leave mine on for like 4 minutes longer because he was like, okay, here's your burnt steak. And he was so upset about it. Perfectly cooked meats off the table. Lunch meat off the table, which I don't really eat that anyways, so I was fine there. Alcohol, I gave up drinking 4 months before I got pregnant, so I didn't have any issues with, actually, like, I didn't crave anything. It was not difficult for me to just be like, whatever. So that wasn't an issue. And then sushi. I ate $70 worth of happy hour sushi in my first trimester before I knew I was pregnant. So that was like my one splurge on something I wasn't supposed to do in the food department. And I was like, I'm okay with that. I didn't know I was pregnant anyway, so it didn't really count, right?
No. Too early.
Yeah. I think that's like food wise, I feel like those were the only things. I couldn't have cheese. My doctor said no cheese. So, like I couldn't have mozzarella or brie or anything like that, which
Yeah,
is fine because all I crave is fried chicken the whole time.
yeah, my doctor said the same thing about cheese. But my doctor actually wasn't really worried too much about stuff. She kind of just spouted things off, and she's like, but everyone has a healthy, fine baby. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But when I got diagnosed with the gestational diabetes, like I'm not a big sweets eater, and we modify everything in our house, like gluten free, sugar free, everything. And
Yeah.
so we do eat sweets, but we eat like healthy sweets. Once I got diagnosed with the gestational diabetes in third trimester, I was like so freaked out. Like I was like, I can't have a carb. Like my body wasn't responding well to anything like carb or sugar, or even that it recognized as a carb or sugar, including like fruits and whatever. So that really sucked.
Can you have dark chocolate?
I can have dark chocolate, but I mean, honestly, at this point, it's like not even worth it, you know?
Yeah. I ate an entire dark chocolate bar every single night.
I remember.
It was amazing.
I remember. So, like, I know that there were physically things that I wanted to do that I would normally do that I couldn't do while pregnant. Were there any for you?
My doctor didn't tell me anything was really off limits other than kind of like obvious things that you're not supposed to do. But yoga, which was something that I was super passionate about before I got pregnant, became really difficult in my second trimester. So I couldn't lay flat on my back because it was just like bone and then heavy belly. So it was really, really painful for me to do yoga, which is weird because I thought stretching was going to be something that really helped out on everything. You might experience this too, but once I was sitting down, it became really difficult for me to stand up, which is something that you kind of take for granted. So,
Yeah.
yoga was off limits. I still got to go hiking. Another thing in my first trimester before I knew I was pregnant, I went downhill skiing, which is supposed to be something that is off limits, but we went skiing for like 4 hours every day.
And hot tubbing.
So I got in a hot tub and I also got into a natural hot springs.
Yeah.
So, God, I sucked at being pregnant, right? ah, this is going to sound bad, but I feel like relatively speaking, I had an easygoing pregnancy, especially when I hear things that you're having to go through. And it just doesn't sound right for me to bitch. Things that you miss doing physically, your doctors recommended you not doing some things, but what are some of those things looking like right now?
Yeah, so I was very involved with yoga as well. So that was a really important part of my life. And I felt like my favorite part of yoga was always doing like twists or inversions. And so it's like, you can't really go upside down. You can't be twisting because you'll bring the baby out. So that was kind of off limits. And then, of course, as I've mentioned numerous times, like I just haven't had the energy. So I hadn't been able to really maintain that anyways. I did take some prenatal courses or yoga classes in my second trimester, and I was like, oh, this is great. It's once a week, and it was just wasn't fulfilling to me, so I just kind of dropped it. Other than that, so physically for some reason I really wanted to jump on a trampoline. We don't even have one, and I know I can't do it.
You can't smoke crack. You can't jump on a trampoline. This is just a big list of things you can't do.
Exactly. So that and um, I guess we don't have a hot tub either, but I mean, I was like, well, what if I wanted to go in a hot tub? You know, when Isaac was trying to plan us a baby moon honeymoon, which we had to cancel because of COVID, he wanted to go to Utah to be like, it was supposed to be like snowing, and he's like, there's hot springs and there's hot tubs, and it'll be so fun. And I'm like, you can't do that when you're pregnant. Like, that's not like an option. So no, that's out of the question. Um, Other than that, like weightlifting, I used to do a lot of weightlifting at the gym, and I know people also do that through their pregnancy. I physically didn't feel like it was safe, like at all, for myself to be doing that. I didn't feel like I mean, I've been doing it for years, but I'm not like a pro, and I didn't feel like confident doing that. And then there's some like vanity things I think that like I really felt
Oh,
like
do
deprived of.
tell.
Well, I've been getting Botox since I was like 30. I'm 35 now, or maybe 29. And like, what is going on? Like, my face moves so much now. And I will get it in my forehead and like right around here. And
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get that since I was pregnant, obviously, and you can't get it when you're breastfeeding. So I would guess like my uneven eyebrow that they used to even out, and like all my movements back forever.
No, not forever. Just until you're finished breastfeeding.
But we're gonna try to get pregnant again, so maybe forever.
Oh, okay. Well, check this out. I'm not even 30. And when I express my eyebrows like this, do you see it?
Yeah.
I have 3 forehead wrinkles and I've been pointing them out to everyone, which I feel like you shouldn't do. You should just pretend like they're not there. But I'm offended when I see them in the mirror.
Yeah, so I would
So,
say that was probably the hardest vanity thing. Just seeing your face change. I used to do chemical peels, like light chemical peels, even like at home. I'm a certified esthetician, by the way. Um, at home or go get them done. And there's controversy. Some people say you can use this and that products on your face and nothing really matters. And some people go all natural when they're pregnant, but I just didn't risk it. So other than that, I would say those were the things I felt extremely deprived of while I was pregnant. Do you have any others?
yeah. No, vanity wise, like I still, obviously, you still colored my hair for me, which I mean, I didn't do it a lot while I was pregnant. It was pretty spaced out, I think. So, I still did that. I still dyed my eyebrows. God, I really didn't feel super, no, no.
I felt
Mine's mostly like food and activity related. It was really rough to be told. I think we talked about this before. When somebody tells you that you physically can't do something, it makes you want to do those things. I feel like a lot of people will probably feel the same way, like if they're going through pregnancy or if they've already been pregnant, and they're probably watching this video thinking, yeah, fuck it when people try to tell me what to do.
exactly. I just thought of one more though. Like I have really wanted a cup of coffee recently because I just am so tired. But I thought of one when we went to New Orleans for my pregnant bachelorette party
Yeah.
post getting married, which is really weird. Um, I have always enjoyed traveling and flying, and it was miserable traveling while pregnant in second trimester and flying and being away from home. And so I felt like I wasn't deprived of that, but I deprived myself of that further on in my pregnancy, the rest of my pregnancy, because it wasn't comfortable and it wasn't fun for me. So I'd say that's probably like the last thing, but
Yeah, we flew in my first and second trimester. My first trimester was we flew to North Carolina when I first found out I was pregnant to tell my dad. I was fine during that one, but we also flew to Florida during my second trimester. And on the flight home, I had Braxton Hicks contractions, and I wasn't anywhere close the very beginning of my second trimester. I think because of like the altitude change or whatever it was, I maybe sitting for a long period of time, I thought I was going to go into labor like right when we were walking through the airport. Jacob had to run and go get the car out of the place. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go into labor right now. This is crazy. So yeah, I stopped traveling after that too. I didn't want to chance anything.
yeah.
Thank you guys for watching, for checking out episode 8. Are we episode 8 now?
We are on episode 8. Yes.
Episode 8. Thank you guys for watching. If you're on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment below, share with your friends, and thank you guys for checking us out.
See you next week.